we are back again, and I have looked up a fuel injector. Okay, now I have an idea what it looks like. Now, yours might be different. Apparently, every single vehicles, they look a bit different. So we'll just make one in general, and hopefully it fits the vision of what you want. And if not, I apologize, you're going to have to make your own. Take the ideas I have, you can look it up on Google, anything you need, but you're going to have to look. I can't imagine what you're making, so I have no way of knowing, so I'll just make what I think it should look like, according to Google at least. Okay? So I'm just going to make a mounting plate on this side for such a thing. Move myself around a little bit. What I could see, it looks like it mounts pretty simply. Looks like it goes like something like this. Okay. Now let's go grab these guys again. It's quite hard to move around here. Maybe boost this out to here actually, right about there. Grab all four of these. Shift D and punch the hole shape out of there. So we'll grab that one. I'll eject, bool, difference. Oh boy. Okay, let's undo that. How shall we do this? Left us back a nasty chunk because it's not a full circle basically. So, how shall we do this? Alright, let's just make a cylinder, I guess. Drag it out and try to get it in the same position as best as we can, I guess. And we'll just have to line them up. You probably want this one to be a little bit smaller anyways, so that when we line these up, the other one goes directly on top of it basically. And once we get one of these in position, we should be able to use a couple tricks to get the other ones in position. So move it up, move it over here. It's so hard, you gotta move around like this and you're so close. Maybe I should just drag this out, drag our cylinder out. Alright, that might be a little easier to see and work with. Alright. Oh right, I have to have that one lined up with it. Let's grab the second one back. Nope. There it is. We'll just use this one to line this up as best as we can again. Sorry, again, I don't make any plans. I just grab my mouse, turn my camera on, and I start going. This time I actually looked up what the part looks like for you guys instead of just guessing, so I hope you appreciate that at least. Alright, I think we have it. Yeah, let's just go a little smaller. Might be able to tell when the edges get smaller. As you can see, we can see a little bit that it's off. Going this way. Oh. Alright. And then we'll just go a little bit smaller. Alright, stop there. Now, let's see. 60832. Let's see if we can just steal the coordinates for that. What's that one? 31728. Uh-oh. That was not right. Alright. Shift D. Sorry, I'm trying to get in the right position here, but it's not easy. Oh, there's my problem. 031728. Just gonna mess with it here. 0.031728. 0.031278, I think it was. I am so bad with numbers, sorry guys. If you ever dealt with anybody with dyslexia, it is not easy. 3127831. Alright, I believe we have it. Alright. Sorry about all that, but I was trying to get it in the exact spot at the exact size for we're able to get the next one a little easier. So go ahead and delete this. Now we don't need it. Shift D. Sorry about that, guys, though. I know that's probably not the best way to do it. You're probably going, what are you doing, buddy? Okay, got that one in place. Shift D. And now that we figured out where they're going, basically, it's easy enough to move them, right? I just take out the minus, and boom, we're done. Okay. And again, we want to be really precise with the engine, so I hope you understand why I'm taking so much time to be sure that we're right on the math. Okay. Hopefully it makes sense, and hopefully it'll all work out here. Oh, I took it off its axis. Alright, let's get closer to the engine now. Erase these three. Bump these four in, sorry. Why is that last one off? Okay, not sure why this one's off, so let's try. That should put it back in place. Alright, and let's make sure up and down they're all right in place, that they're covering the holes just perfectly. Grab them. Now just make sure one more thing that they're in this way. And I think they are. Let's just check. Yeah, it goes dark when we get in there, so let's, yeah, there we go. Grab the back one, Control J. Alright, we've made the mount for it. If you want to drill screw holes, we just drag some screws over and pop them in. I guess you probably want that, so you can either use those ones or our square bolt. Up to you. And we'll use the Shift D. Okay. Whoosh. Yeah, that's the noise it makes, guys. Alright, so we will turn this to a 90, I believe. Perfect. And good thing we don't have to do this on the other side, don't worry. Alright. It's going to be a little hard to get it in place, but you guys should get the idea. Something like that. And just move it over. Shrink it down. It's going to be a lot smaller, obviously. It's a different part. It doesn't need to be as heavy as a bolt. It's probably good. Just make sure it's in place now, that it's perfectly in the middle. Move it a bit away for you can see the difference. And then we're going to hit Shift D. And we should be able to put one on the other side this way, as long as our mask's still on. And it will look like we're in place, yep. Okay, we'll grab them both. We'll Shift D, because we are going to drive some holes first. And then afterwards, we will have a bolt to go back in them, right? Now, you may have to do this whole thing twice if you want to put one into the engine block. I'll show you that after. Difference. Shoot. Why did that happen? Oh, right, because there's pieces attached. So we're going to have to go to difference, the bool, but we'll go to the second difference. Let's have a look at things and see if we can fix things. That didn't help. That didn't help, obviously. Let's try our solver. That helped. Alright. So as long as you can find a solution, you might have to disattach those parts first. Again, sorry I made a mistake there. I went ahead and attached them, forgetting that we were going to have to bool out of these. Should be the last bool here anyways. And now we have our part. We just need to erase that and that because we had to do it the other way. So just grab them both and hit delete. Okay. If you want to put your hole into the engine, we're going to Shift D and just wind it into the engine a bit. Probably about there because you're going to have a plate in the way. Oops, not firing. I've got to make sure the heads are sticking out, obviously. Now, I don't know what's attached to that, so you may have problems with the bool, but we can go ahead and try. It looks like, kind of looks like that one's right in the middle of the hole for some reason. I think we're good. Well, let's just maybe not leave. We'll leave these out for now. I don't know what's going on there. It looks like we might have to make some adjustments, and I don't have time in the video to adjust everything. God damn it. It's so hard to grab small things in this. But you get the idea. You may have to adjust a little bit to put these holes here, but I think our mounts will work just fine. You just don't need to have a hole in there. Looks like she fits pretty good. Alright, there's our screws for that. Alright. So, again, oh my. Is it just that last piece? I don't understand why that happened. Alright, so we'll make the next piece our fuel injection. We'll use a cube. Drag it out. And from what I've seen, it's pretty simple. Looks like just kind of squarish this way, about the length of the engine. And the fuel injectors are actually inside of that tube there. So we just have to probably flip like that and go B a little bit, maybe bevel the whole thing, and add just a few segments. Okay, something like that, so it's not perfectly round, it looks more like a part per se. Okay, and we probably go ahead and attach that to that part. So we'll grab that, we'll hit Control J. Alright, next we would have a hose come out the back to go to our fuel tank to inject our fuel from, with a fuel pump somewhere on the hose. Let's start working our way that way. And hopefully this is helping you guys and it's not just a boring thing for you and you're actually having fun. Hopefully you're making these things with me and you're not just going, whoa, can't believe what this fool's doing. Dog. Alright, so we'll just try to center it as best as you can. This could be centered a bit better, I suppose. I'm just doing an example, obviously, so I'm not going to go perfect. When you get to the size you want it, go in like that, Shift D, and we're just going to go a little bit longer. And we're going to punch this shape out of the other one, but let's first shrink it like that, so it looks like a hose connector. So we'll go Bool Tool and difference. Great. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to have to set that up with a fuel line and then a fuel pump at some point going that way. But maybe we'll try to start the exhaust manifold. I don't know. Didn't really have a look at this one. I just kind of looked at the fuel injector. So try to be patient with me here. Okay, I got an idea. I think this will work. And hopefully this is alright for what you guys think it should look like. Again, I didn't look. I should have, but I didn't. I could go look on my second screen, but I just feel like I shouldn't go look while I'm in the middle of making a video. And I've already started, so let's just go. Let's just make that perfect circle. The exact perfect shape to make nothing out of, right? Alright, let's go this way. Let's go, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't adjust that way. Let's see what we got. And I don't know how to shape this exactly. I'll just try to make it shape itself like it's a receptacle for this. Okay. So, oops. That's not what I meant to do. Hopefully that went back. I right-clicked it to cancel it, so it should be fine. Something like that. Let's see how that looks. So it's got to be a bit longer, I think. And I don't know exactly how a manifold looks again, but I think like this should do. If you've got to reshape it, you just go ahead and pause it while you reshape it. I make a lot of stuff, and I don't always look. I just kind of try to use my imagination. My imagination's probably always a little wrong at times, because we all see things different, right? Let's see if I can wheel those out together. No. Okay. I will do it this way. Okay. Let's copy those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shift D. Wind her in. Like that. Okay. Now, I'm just going to add this to this. So, maybe actually we won't right yet, just in case we have to bool. I won't get you guys this time, okay? Alright, so what would these be for? What was I going to use those for? To make a mount, probably. Okay, let's just delete this. This. No, actually, let's bring those back. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm very busy and popular today. Alright, Shift D. No, Shift A, sorry. Getting a little confused, getting a little distracted. I'm trying not to read those, but it's hard. Okay, we're just going to make a mount, I suppose, like the other one. And we'll use those extra ones to drill our holes, and hopefully all the holes all still line up and I haven't messed something up once again. Alright, it's really hard to swing around in these weird motions without moving things by accident and stuff. Stuff's gonna happen. You know what? Let's bluff it. Let's not even do that. Let's just get rid of these again. Sorry. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna, oops, move them one at a time. Apparently, just move them to the very edge. Okay, move this so you're covering up all your edges. Okay, so I'm just gonna bluff it like that, and then I might take some holes after and just make sure they're on the right side and punch them through the other side. Could use this hole to line them up to make sure they go all the way through. But for now, maybe we could do that. Yeah, let's do it. Alright, let's do it. Trying to be quick, but I just don't want to leave things out that you guys, I think people are going to have troubles with, because I feel like it's not a very good tutorial if I leave you with all these issues to solve on your own. So let's try to do this real quick, hopefully. What I would do is just make sure it's in the hole. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to kind of line up, obviously. So let's get it inside of the hole at least, like that. Something like that. Okay, it's a little high. Right. Maybe copy it when you know it's in there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Again, we can go a little bigger. Like that if you really want. Shift D will copy it. It should be on the right axis, so we just got to get it in the right spot, basically. That should be right. And then we'd Shift D. And again, I'm giving you examples, so if they're not perfect, keep that in mind. It's just an example for you can do it at home. If you need to pause the video and take more time, that's fine. I'm just going to make you an example. Alright, I think it was this one. I always get confused. especially when I get talking like that. Forget what I'm doing. All right. Something like that. Oh god, you know what? I'm so stupid. If I take it out that big, it's literally going to take out the pipe on the other side. I'm so sorry. So it's going to have to be more like that. Shoot. Let's just delete the other ones if I can reach them. The last one was really out of place anyways. Somehow. I might have got it in place when I was cutting them out. I don't really remember. It was many videos ago now. So, but you get the idea. It's going to help us too is when we put these in, if they're not completely lined up correctly, they should come out of the pipe before, and we'll see that, and we'll be able to adjust them before we make our bool. But for now, we'll just assume they're all in place, and we'll give this a shot. Just do another minus there. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. I just duplicated them and put them down there. Alright, so let's move them all up and see what we got. Make sure we're not cutting through our pipe on any of them, but all the ends stick out. And let's just make them a little longer so they go right through this pipe. Okay? If you want to duplicate them and do a hole through here, you can, because they're not booled at this point. But we may have a problem with this bool, as you know. What am I doing? Do we already have a hole over here? No, we don't. Okay, that's why I'm doing this. We haven't put our holes in. I remember doing the top all of a sudden. I'm like, didn't we already do this? Alright, good. You know what? We haven't attached it to anything, so we had no problems with the bool. I was thinking of the top piece. I got a little confused. Sorry about that. Alright, so we have a hole. Goes all the way into there now. So, could probably mount these to this now, since they are booled. Control J. And sorry, I'm having a little bit of a confused day, as you can see. I'm kind of just confused in general, apparently. I'm just going to move these back, and now I can move them back together because they are attached. Okay, they're about the same size. Looks pretty good to me. You guys may want it different, but we're going to have to get this exhaust to go through here and head down that way, so we're going to want it to be in a good spot to start with, especially, okay? So I feel like this is how I'm going to do it. You can choose to do it a different way. You can reshape it. Just pause the video like I already said. But I'm going to go ahead and make a... We will make a cylinder. Let's drag it over. Let's drag it over. Find the right 90. Think it's this one. Yes. Alright, we're on fire now. Now we're flying. Alright, so a couple things here we're going to have to do. Okay. First, let's make this long. I guess we'll move it over a little bit. And this is going to depend. Maybe you don't care. Maybe you're never going to be looking down your pipe, okay? So maybe this doesn't matter. So you decide on this, but you could hollow it out at this point. If it's going to be put together in sections and you're going to actually be able to see down it, you could Shift D and just extend it a little bit, obviously. And then just use your S to shrink the whole thing together until you're happy. And then you might have to extend it again. And then you would bool. Okay? So then you would have, if you wanted it, you could have a hollowed exhaust. It goes right in. And when we attach these pieces, it would look like your exhaust is an actual exhaust. It's going to depend how much you care, what you're trying to do with the game and everything. It's going to cause a little bit more problems to do it this way, but we'll do it this way anyways. Just see what happens. If we need to redo it, it's not a big deal. Alright. So, this is not in the right position right now because we're going to have to start cutting down. So let's try to check and see if we can give this a bit more of an angle that we need. This is the wrong way, so let's try 75. Now make sure you don't bump anything. Right at the point I can go the lowest I can go, and then I cut into the exhaust, and maybe I come up just a hair. Okay? Now, when we make our next piece, and we can do that with Shift D, we just need to line it up and cover that little joint a bit, basically. And that shouldn't be too hard. Alright? So let's take the piece we just took off, and we'll hit 90 here again. Okay? Nice and straight. And we're keeping in line with the other one. So now we just have to line them up. Okay? Hopefully that's what you're after. You may want to shrink one or the other, or put a ring around it to hide that. But that's what I'm after. Alright? Now, probably want to go this way a little bit with this one, and we'll extend it just a hair. Something like that. Okay? And then we would go to a catalytic converter, I believe would be the next part. And again, I could be wrong. I'm no exhaust expert. But let's check it out. Let's do what I do, and if you need to correct it, I'm very sorry. I don't know cars that well. I don't know why I enjoy making them so much and designing them. And but the thing about them is when you learn a lot about cars, and I don't claim to know that much, but the more I learn how many differences there are. So there is no way to build an engine. There is no way to build a car frame, because every single car is pretty different from the next car. You know, some are similar in a lot of ways, but over the years, basically, there's no way to say, well, this is what it looks like, basically. It's my view, anyways. You could find a generic kind of look, and that's probably about the best you're going to get. Is generic type looks at like, well, that looks like the part it's supposed to be. And that's what I'm trying to do, and hopefully that's what you think I'm bringing to you as well. Alright, so we have a pretty good exhaust manifold now. Maybe just copy that one, Shift D, and run it through. Alright, now you might not need to change the length of this a bit to make it come out of the back of your vehicle, so probably something like that. And then just back it up until you're happy. You're going to have to pick the size, you're going to have to pick how far it comes out the back of your car, but you have yourself an exhaust that comes all the way off your engine now. And I think that's pretty good. I guess we can go ahead and attach all of these pieces, depending how you want to attach it, how many pieces you want to make it. I'm probably going to do this, and then Shift D. Okay. If you wanted to make some mounting plates here, that would probably be a good spot for it. If you wanted that, not sure. But I'm just going to mount these two together for now. Okay. And we'll leave this last one loose as well. And maybe we'll look at making mounts for them when we come back on the next episode. Now, hopefully I've helped you get a little farther in your engine. It makes a bit more sense to you. We have something to run our fuel in now. We have something to run our exhaust fumes out of now. Okay. We've got most of our front end axle, part of our back end axle. So we're getting pretty far into our car. We're probably going to be quite a few more episodes, but we're pretty far in. If you've been following along, congratulations. This is not an easy feat. This is a terribly hard thing to do, designed to just basically mess up on you over and over. So if you've got this far, congratulations. You're doing great. Alright? So hopefully you join me in my next episode. It won't be too long, I'm sure. 2 today, 2 the other day. I'm sure we'll get some more out soon. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you thumbs up. Make sure that you do anything you can to show me your appreciation, because then I'll keep making more videos. I'm just kidding. Just thumbs up are great. I'm just kidding. Alright guys, thanks for being with me today.